Hi, and welcome to Effective's Top 10 Tips podcast. Each episode is a quick roundup of practical, easy-to-implement tips on a wide range of management and personal development themes. As always, full show notes for this episode, including a handy summary of each tip, are available on our website. Just see the episode notes for this and many other useful links. We also offer workshops and coaching on all topics covered in this podcast series. Today's episode is on giving feedback. Tip number 1. Constructive feedback is crucial. Little things make a big difference, and one of the really good examples of that is giving constructive and positive feedback. We all like to feel good about ourselves, and giving such feedback costs nothing. All feedback should be given with the intent to help and improve. That's what makes it constructive. Tip number 2. Make it authentic. The feedback has to be believed, valued, and valuable. And if you're not sure how to give the feedback, then it's a good idea to put yourself in their shoes. If someone was about to give you constructively critical feedback, how would you want it to be given? Then follow your own views and base your approach on what would work best for you. Tip 3. Make it behaviour specific. It has to be about the individual's behaviour rather than about the individual themselves. This means you can value the individual whilst addressing the inappropriate behaviour. Tip number 4. Make it relevant. Feedback should be about their performance, the way they behave, and how it impacts directly or indirectly on their own or others' performance. Tip number 5. Give the feedback early. The feedback should be as close to the event as possible, not saved. For example, for some performance reviews or appraisals, you may want feedback to help make a change or have an impact as soon as possible. So why would you save it? Tip number 6. Make it evidence-based. The individual needs to be given proof of what they are doing, which is why it always has to be about their behaviour rather than about them generally, or their attitude, which is non-evidenceable. Tip number 7. Make the feedback directly to the person concerned. This doesn't always happen. Surprisingly, for example, there are 2 other types of feedback: private feedback and third-party feedback. Private feedback is when you acknowledge how good somebody else's performance has been, but only to yourself in your head. Third-party feedback occurs when you acknowledge someone's strengths to somebody else. Tip number 8. Make it specific. Generalized feedback isn't really helpful, since the individual can't focus on either what's good or not. Tip number 9. Give blind spot feedback. The essence of blind spot feedback is people can't change what they don't know. There are 2 types of blind spot. For the first, the individual is unaware of their behaviour, and for the second, the individual is unaware of the impact of their behaviour. Both types can, of course, cause problems. If this is the case, then it's really your job as their manager to address it, because if you don't address it, it's bound to continue because the individual is blind to the issue. So, not to challenge is to condone. Tip number 10. Use the SBIA structure. If you are giving constructively critical feedback, these 4 steps might give you a structure for such feedback. The structure is SBIA, standing for situation, behaviour, impact, and alternative. Let the person know what the situation is that you're going to talk to them about, to give them a context for the feedback. Then describe the behaviour you have witnessed or have evidence for. Then explain the negative impact this has had, in what way and on who, and then either offer or get them to suggest an alternative way of dealing with things should a similar situation occur. So, that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it or leave us a review. Remember, you can find full show notes on our website, plus a growing library of free resources which you can easily search by theme to find content that's relevant for you. We also offer workshops and coaching on a wide range of topics. Links to all of these resources are in the episode notes. Thank you.